is Jennifer Ip, who is a third-year JD student at the CTU Hong Kong. And as you can see already...
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me right now?
Yes, we can hear you as well. Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me right now?
Yes.
Oh, that's great, because I can't hear anyone. Sorry. Yes. Sorry. Yes, so hello, everyone. So I'm Jennifer. So I'm now currently studying at the City University of Hong Kong. So my topic is about releasing the power of electives in the JD programs to prepare for the unknown future. So for the jurisdictions that they can allow the students to study law as a first degree and to study the LLB. For the JD program is for the people who don't have the LLB program degree and they want to still be a lawyer or barrister. That's why they study the JD program. So my agenda is very simple. It's in 3 parts. So why, and I will propose 6 proposals, and there's a conclusion and Q&A. Although I can't hear anyone, so it's okay. I just keep going on here. So why? Because we are now in Industrial 4.0 era, but actually our education system still stay on the Education 1.0 mode, which means that one teacher professor teaches the knowledge to the students in a one-way direction. We have some schools that are using the Education 2.0 or 3.0 mode, which emphasize the interactive between the students and the teachers, but mostly in the legal education is more on emphasizing on the Education 1.0. And education, actually for Industrial 4.0 works, we need the skill sets to prepare for the students to embracing the artificial intelligence and the machine learning area. So what does it mean? Because these areas will have some new and novel legal problems that haven't been seen before. That's why, as a law student, we also need the knowledge to know what is artificial intelligence, what is machine learning, and what is Bitcoin and otherwise. But in Hong Kong, very sadly, after studying the LLB and also the JD, we all have to compete for the postgraduate certificate in laws PCL programs. So for most students, the JD students, because they have their previous knowledge in their previous works, and maybe they're very resourceful. That's why they already have some industry-specific expertise in their minds. So the purpose of to utilizing better the JD electives is to not to waste the talents earned before the JD. So let's look at the next slide. So look at the JD program structure from the City University of Hong Kong from 2019. You can see that actually for the additional free electives at the bottom, they are free for the students to choose. So it means that, how much is it? It means 120,000 Hong Kong dollars. It means we have 273 hours free. So my proposal is how to wisely use this money and this time to better improve our capabilities when we graduate from the JD. So next slide is about why. The issue facing the JD student, especially the JD, not the LB, is how can they achieve a high GPA to get into the PCL program. So it means that the JD students are inclined to take less riskier modules or taking modules that giving higher grades. So that means that JD students will take the modules simply because they give a high grades in the formality, but they're not focusing on the substance of the modules that give them. It's very sad because all the one goal for the JD students is to achieve a higher GPA to get into the PCL program. Therefore, I will propose 6 means to maximizing the learning of the JD electives. So they are, the first one is increasing the choices of electives. The second one is initiating law tech start projects. The third one is to go for the overseas or local pro bono work. The fourth one is being research assistants. The fifth one is about organizing events. And the sixth one is about attending talk like this. So I think the emphasis of my proposals is the first one. Yes, this one. So to increase the choice of electives, these platforms, Coursera, EDX, Future Learn, before the COVID-19, they already exist. But now they provide more rich programs rather than the traditional JD electives offered in the law schools. For example, they provide cryptocurrencies, blockchain, fintech, and AI courses. These might not be directly related to the law, but actually the problems they bring, they will bring the legal problems to the professional as well. So it's very urgent for the JD students to know what these are, because when they go to the job interview, the bosses often they're very interested in the current trends, and they want to know whether the JD students, the PCL graduates, they know what are these things. And the second one I think is very important is about to get the trainings to become mediator, arbitrator, trust advisors, Chinese lawyer, UK barristers, solicitors, US bars, Singaporean bars, because JD students are very focused on getting to be a Hong Kong lawyer, and they don't know other ways to actually, they can leverage the JD degree to get other lawyers from other jurisdictions as well. And as you see, also the rise of the arbitrators. So it's an edge to get an arbitration qualification as well. Also, they can attend the local and overseas summer short-term courses. Yes. But I think the most important thing that law school shouldn't just give a pass, when students take this kind of subjects. Because, for example, I did an exchange in Shanghai last semester. I got nearly straight A, but actually when I came back to the CTU, it means just all pass for me. So actually for normal JD students, they don't have incentive to pursue these alternatives. It's a very sad thing, because these contents are very updated to the world. But JD students are merely focusing to get the easiest module or the high grade modules to achieve a higher GPA in order to get into the PCLL. And the next slide is about initiating Law Tech Fund and startup project. So this is something like the IT concept, because usually currently the IT startup project is to solve the IT or other problems, like maybe Uber or something, Uber Eats, something like that. But actually the legal industry has its own problem. So we also need the legal plus technology to solve the legal problems within the industry. And also currently there's a new fund, it's called the Law Tech Fund in Hong Kong. It's available to small and medium-sized law firms and barrister chambers. The fund is not big, it's just like 50,000 Hong Kong dollars, 50,000, yeah, per firm and chambers. And I think this amount just limits the scope of the project. And it's destined to be a piecemeal or to be monopolized by some IT firms to provide plan to match that amount of fund. So it's foreseeable that this fund will be in the pocket of a few IT firms providing proposals with the least creativity, but biggest financial return. So I'm not sure whether students can pull this fund. If they can grab few firms to commit that fund to a new startup project, the potential will be much more than just 50,000 Hong Kong dollars. Yes, and the third one, the third proposal. Yes, this one. I always see the advertisement of going to very poor countries to do some pro bono work. I'm always interested in this, but when I sit back and think, can I improve my GPA? Does it count? It's not. It's very sad thing that, because through these projects, the students can really feel what are lacked in these developing countries, what they can bring the justice to these people. But when think about the GPA, they're not increasing my GPA, so I couldn't get into PCL. So it's a contradictory thinking. I mean, so that will discourage them to go on these projects rather to take up an internship or many people during the summer or winter vacations in Hong Kong, and they don't want to go out of Hong Kong to see how the world is. The fourth one is about becoming the research assistant. I think there's a big misconception between the student and professor, because we as a student, we always think that, okay, I need a very high GPA to impress my professor so that he or she will take me as a research assistant. So I think in this way, the professor and lecturer, they can tell students that don't worry about your GPA, just submit your CV and then we can talk about it. And because I think each JD student is admitted because of his own background and own talents. So the professor can utilize the different backgrounds of different JD students to achieve different projects. The fourth one, yeah, it's the fourth one. And the next one is to organizing events. For example, the events for the World IP Day, AI and Law, cybersecurity, and even conference like this. But the limitation is that because I once proposed to organize the events for the World IP Day, which falls on 26th of April every year. But that's the busiest period for JD students and law students who prepare their final exams. So we need more incentives to do, because doing events means taking our time for study, which means that might decrease our GPA again. And also for the other project, for example, the JD students can be a legal YouTuber, legal KOL, yeah, or other exciting projects, new projects. The sixth proposal is about to attending talks within and outside the campus or on the internet, like this one, because I'm very interested to find out what are the legal trends, what are the legal issues, current issues that the industries are facing. That's why I always attend to different kind of CPD, but it takes my extra time, because even students in the CTU, they don't go to these kind of talks often, because this will deprive their time to study again to achieve a higher GPA. So I think if these JD electives can be converted to the CPD mode, it will benefit the student a lot, because it will give them the current concerns of the industry and also a chance to network with the current lawyer, professors, barristers, and so on. Again, but the incentive is to the student need to make sure that they have a higher GPA to be returned. Oh, and next one, last one. So proposals. So I'm thinking about whether the student can sign a contract with the law faculty. It's like the VAM, right? The valuation adjustment mechanism, based on agreement, to set out outline the project deliveries, milestone, and rewards. And if the projects are successful or reach some important milestones, then extra GPA can be awarded. Also, there are more future collaborations to deal with the intellectual property rights IPR issues, and also how to continue the project even the students graduate. So my conclusions are 4 points. The conclusion. So it better use the 120,000 Hong Kong dollars, 273 hours plus self-study hours to make good use of these electives hours to achieve more than just a JD degree. Maybe you can become a New York bar or Chinese bar, and also arbitrator. And the second one is not to intended to replace existing JD electives, but to offer other ways to learn the new things, or just create something meaningful. For example, you create YouTuber, then you spread the legal knowledge to the people who are not just in Hong Kong. You spread the knowledge to the people worldwide. And the third one is not to decrease the GPA. This very important point, but to increase the GPA point. The fourth one is provide students, JD students, other alternatives to become other qualifications, to get other qualifications. Because the one thing that strikes most JD students a lot is that if they don't become lawyers or barristers of Hong Kong, and they see the end of the legal career, they don't see other way though. They actually can become a very good arbitrator, mediator, and even trust professional, or a Chinese lawyer. So I hope this proposals will give some view to the students and the law schools to think about how to best use the JD electives to make it not just on the formality, but to gain the substance of it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Jennifer, for your presentation. I think that is really great that we also have student speakers who actually can provide a student's perspective on the issues that we discuss here, especially the ways of teaching and the subjects that we teach. Her presentation actually was very rich in content and proposals that she's offering. Maybe it is mainly aimed at the university that she's currently studying at, but I'm sure that we can all draw some useful lessons and implement some of these proposals in our own programs. I would like to invite our participants to share also their experiences on whether any of these proposals that Jennifer has presented have been implemented at your schools. For example, I can say that here at the University of Macau, we are currently contemplating a new program which would combine actually this new technologies and the study of law. But due to certain constraints of our undergraduate program, we are not able to offer these subjects as electives because we do not have a JD as such. So instead, we are trying to create a dedicated a master program on the law, technology, and science, and in this way to deliver this knowledge to the students. There was also another recent introduction of the master degree in data sciences, where we also have a law component, and that could be also useful for the students who, like Jennifer said, do not plan to become actually pure lawyers, but actually would like to have a knowledge of legal aspects of the industry. So there are so many different options on how we can integrate these subjects in the curriculum. So that's why I would be interested to see if anyone wants to share the experiences from their law school on addressing these points that Jennifer made. Also, you could type your questions in the chat because sometimes she has problems with microphone and speakers, but she can see the chat function. So we still have 5 minutes for Q&A. So I'm trying to ask Jennifer about what electives she would like to see replaced or added to the current program. So let's see if she can answer.
Oh yes. Currently, I'm taking the IP, International Property, the succession, a lot of the succession. Also, I have the elective to go to the legal internship, and also the electives to go to exchange. For the China exchange, I use my 4 electives. That is 12 credits together to have 1 semester in Shanghai.
Yes, Jennifer. Yes, if you could hear me, there is a question of my colleague from the faculty, and he's also trying to experiment with the innovative subjects. So basically, the question is whether would you be interested in an elective that would provide some speculations about unknown future, rather than trying to teach you on the existing laws of or technologies.
I think both are important because you need to get to have some specific knowledge of a specific thing. For example, the artificial intelligence and its legal affects. But if you don't have some subjects that increase your employability, then you can't even show your specific knowledge in front of your future boss.